Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. This platform was built by Sparkies for Sparkies. We simply exist to make business owners more profitable, or businesses more profitable and more predictable. So we want to work with people that work hard because we love working hard too, that work smart because you got to be on top of the business, people that are kind because no one likes a dickhead. Am I right? People who want results because that's what we're here for, right? And people who want to be part of a like-minded community. So if you're interested in hearing more about the platform, please reach out and enjoy the podcast. All right, this is our city high. What would you do if someone's at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry? Finish it.
I actually don't know it.
Really?
I know the song, but I just can't place it. You've caught me off guard.
This is disappointing. City high. I don't know what era this is, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. This, what would you do if your son was at home? Conundrum, right? That gets presented to you. So we're talking scenarios, we're talking conundrums, we're talking
2001 self-titled album. What would you do?
Far out. What a 2001.
What a time to be alive, let's be honest.
If that's not the greatest time in history, me rocking my 3210, potentially a 3310 at that point, potentially. But anyway, we're talking scenarios, we're talking what would you do? And it's interesting because everything, let's highlight this. This is another one of my Sith Lord moments of the week, the coaching industry. Everything is so easy to say from an office. I can say whatever the hell I want from here with zero repercussions, besides maybe damage to my reputation, which it's probably already happened. So it's like, whatever. So coming into this is like, what would you do in this situation? So everything's so easy to say from an office, like hustle, hire, all this kind of stuff. But when you're in the trenches and running through it, like everything's really easy to see outside the box. But sometimes when you're in the box, you don't even know you're in a box because and you're making these decisions based upon emotion or current circumstance in that minute rather than holistically over the next month. So it's interesting coming into the busy season, and this is probably the January series part 6, the series that never ends, like the lamb chops song that doesn't end. You know that one? Surely you know that one.
Oh, is that the lamb, like the kids one?
Yeah. This is the song that doesn't end.
Yeah, I
lamb
know
chops. That was great. I mean, I don't even know what that show is. Awful, kind of awesome. Somewhere between awful and awesome.
It's that real like
it was weird, man.
To it, but it's terrible.
Talking lamb, weird. You lost me talking lamb. But we're talking about
lamb is delicious though, just on a
lamb cutlets are expensive. That's what they are. Yeah. Anyway, I got to sell some more memberships just to buy this lamb. Okay.
Put food on the table.
Okay, coming into it. Scenario, you're booked out. To reference this, we're talking about Jimmy the Sparky because we love Jimmy. Jimmy has a team of whatever, insert your team here. And Jimmy is a go-getter. And Jimmy has booked his schedule out a lot. He's a bit unaware of what's happening coming up, but he knows he's busy, right? He's busy. Let me reference this.
He's told me 8 times that he's busy.
He's busy, yeah. How do you know he's busy? Because he just told you. Yeah,
busy.
yeah. And he's busy. That's classic Jimmy activity. So he's busy. You know he's busy because he told you. The whole town knows he's busy because he told them. He opens his computer from 7 to 11 every night and just stares blankly at it. Gets nothing done, but he's putting in some big hours, right? So
he's busy.
This is Jimmy. He's busy. Did I mention that he's actually quite busy right now? Anyway, it's interesting, and I want to highlight this. This is actually like an incredibly great topic. He's booked for the rest of the year, and it's mid-October, and his best client, and we talked about this in the last pod. We left you on a sort of teaser, a hanger. In my opinion, your best clients are the clients that give you work year-round. Usually the clients can give you work year-round, schools, commercial bakeries, or anything commercial, lots of times, retail, real estates, builders, commercial builders. Like if there's anything in that sort of realm is freaking legendary. You can insert a whole bunch of other stuff into that, and you can make anything work as long as the numbers stack up. And I've seen everything work across numbers. Numbers are just like, does it go green? Net profit north of 20%? Do it again. Net profit lower than 20%, change it or stop it. That's it. So Jimmy's booked, and their best clients. Back to the best client. The best clients are usually business owners and usually they've got a decent portfolio behind them, whether that's residential or their business is, they've got assets, which is usually an asset can be your business, an asset can be personal property, commercial property, or whatever. They've usually got a team and repeat work, and they're usually quite erratic decision makers, because business owners, the top guys, when they make decisions, they make them quickly. And they might be like, oh, I just bought that property. Yeah, we're getting started next week. I just bought this. We're doing this. And I referenced this.
I know
in
the
last...
exact client you're talking about. Hey, it's just like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, well I just bought it.
It's a tale as old as time, like smart entrepreneur makes quick decision. Like that's what they do. That's why they're in the position they're in. So when they make these quick decisions and you're looking at a busy schedule and one of your top 5 clients comes to you, and this is why, this is another topic completely. In your like, if you had to name and write down a list of things in your top client, possibly, go with me here, organize might not be in there. They might be organized in the spot, but it might be erratic and organized. So organized in terms of once the job's on, this is what we're doing. But I didn't know this job was on yesterday, now this job's on.
Yeah.
So talking about like, this is why you can't, your best client probably is not sitting you down. The builder, yeah, 100%. But the serial entrepreneur with a whole lot of money is probably like, I just bought this, we're doing this. I'm just doing this, we're doing this. I've just changed this, we're running 1,000 data points at this point. So don't hear what I'm not saying. Best clients are organized, but I'm saying they might be erratic.
Yeah, and they're generally unpredictable.
Unpredictable is a great word. So okay, get this. So Jimmy's got a predictable rest of the year. And then someone has thrown a curveball at him. Hey, we've got to get 2 people here for the rest of the year for 2 or 3 weeks, because the serial entrepreneur who's unpredictable has made a decision. They've made the decision. They've bought the block of townhouses, the block of units. They're knocking something down. They're doing something commercially, whatever. They made the decision. Now they're organized. They know what they need. But what's happened is Jimmy's organized, and he's like, I'm cruising the rest of the year. Sweet, we're all good. Now he's not good. And he's got a conundrum, because he can't make, in my opinion, the erratic, unpredictable, awesome business owner. He needs to make their problem his problem. That's a fact. If this person's giving you $2, $3, $4, $500,000 worth of work, which they will do that to you, then you need to solve their problems. And their problem is, I want this cafe completed before Christmas. I want this job completed before. We need conduits in here. We need deck work in here because we're going crazy. There's no council approval. We're going crazy. So Jimmy's organized. Now he's been thrown not curveball, but not like, Jimmy can see that as frustrating. And this is why you've always got to reference, you have to treat everyone like you're quiet. If you were quiet, you would probably do some ungodly things to find this client. If you were busy, you're probably going to do some ungodly things to find this client, right? But when you get them, you can become complacent. And when you stop making their problems your problems, when you start making their problems, so go with me here, client calls, what the hell? We're not even like, we can't fit this in. This is too, when you start, you have to make their problems your problems. And not everyone, this is interesting as well, not everyone's going to be able to roll with clients like this. There's a certain, but you need to be able, if someone's giving you a lot of work and it's profitable, you need to be able to work with them, in my opinion. If it calculates hitting green, like I said before, do it again. So this is where relationships come into it. Like, so someone calls, you can't fit it in, and you probably, I was a massive believer that you just call it what it is. I can't fit this in. We're booked out for months. But for you, we'll find a way. You know what I mean? Leave it with me. I'll call you back. Like, what do you do, Cam, in that situation? You're booked and cooked. Your best client throws you a curveball. What are you doing?
You make it happen. Nah. So one thing here I want to touch on the client, this type of client first, is that if you've worked with them previously, right, I think it's fair to say you can't say, oh, what a surprise, right? So you know that this person sits in the background and you know that they do these sorts of things. So if you're willing to work for them and work with them, and you've got that relationship with them, I think it's unreasonable for you to then be like, oh, I can't believe they would do this, because you know that they do this, right? I understand that the time of year might not be ideal, but you know that they're going to do it, right? And I think once you start to work with these people, we've actually got one of them, and it's hilarious that we talk about it right now, because we always do one project that has to be done before Christmas, and we generally start it in like November every year. And so like every year I just pencil it in to be like, we've got to have some kind of resource allowance that's probably going to take somewhere between X amount of days and X amount of days. Now, so first, just want to preface like that. And these clients are amazing, because if you go to them when you're quiet at any time, they will generally pull strings for you as well, because these people know other people, right? So that I think I just want to really emphasize that if you ever get in trouble, they will always help you out. I'm sure, Crowe, you've been in a similar experience, because I know a couple of the clients that you guys used to work for. I think you need to work.
I just want to say 100%. We had a lot of situations like that where we call them. There's a few that come to mind. I also want to highlight, I know like a complete dickhead client that's erratic, disorganized, and I also know the awesome clients that are a bit erratic, disorganized, but incredible. So it's like, I'm sure everyone can go either way here, but we're going the positive way in this sense. But I remember I went to run heaps of camera cables, maybe like through 2 to 3 scissor tires, commercial bakery, maybe 80 to 100 data, like, Cat 6s for cameras. And it was like, the job wasn't due for 3 months or at least 2 months. And we had a bit of a gap, and I'm like, hey, can we get in and just break its back? Because I need it. Like, I needed to fill this gap. And because we had such a good relationship, they're like, yeah, sweet, that's cool. That's the kind of clients you want to work. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So in that, so reasonable, that sort of expectation around it. And I think also to recognize that you want to be working with these people. Like, they're excellent. Like, they might seem like they might be like, oh, really? I didn't know it was going to cost that much, or what do you mean you can't get there today? Like, they come up with those, but a lot of it is just like a conversation, and ultimately, like, they actually love you and you love them in a PG way. I think also too, I want to recognize this here, is that these type of clients, you are the point of contact. So you don't pass it off to an admin person. You don't pass it off to your project manager. You don't pass it off to one of your other Sparkies. It's almost like your little black book. Like, I feel like, this is just my opinion on it all, I feel like if you've got, and I don't really know if I'm being perfectly honest, anyone that has more than like a handful of these type of clients, you're talking like maybe 3 to 5 people who will just communicate directly with you, and then you have to pass that on. No one is too precious with their time to be able to answer text messages, WhatsApps, phone calls, pictures. And the other thing too you'll find with these people is they will communicate with you in about 8 different ways. Because they're a little bit erratic. So like, they might send you a text, they might WhatsApp you, they might phone call you, they might phone call you off your Telstra payphone, because that's what they do. So I think
reverse charges.
I think just recognize that like, you really want to be the point of contact, because you're the decision maker in this situation. So and they want to deal with you, right? And then what's going to happen is as the job gets going, you don't deal with the person that they've assigned to the site, and you're not really dealing with, they're not dealing with the person that you assigned to site. It's almost like you're the overarching bodies. And then when you come to, when you two meet on site, it's like chaos. It's like, I want this, I want that. And then you go sit down and you meet with their PM and whoever your leading hand is. It's like, righto, boys, so see what we just did. We're redoing it all because Jimmy's changed his mind. And it's like, but that's okay. You need to recognize it. And the one thing I always emphasize, and generally speaking, you'll find a lot of these people working on cost plus sense, because they want to be, if they want to change it, they want to change it. That's just the way it is. So
cost plus is control, right? Like,
100%.
They have control to be like, I'm paying you this. We've agreed it's a fair amount.
Yep.
And I want to do whatever the hell I want with your time. That's sweet. Like, it's kind of sounds a bit R-rated at that point, like a bit of exchange of money for services. But this is a PG service. This is running cable.
So
potentially.
I just wanted to sort of get that out of the road. I feel like they're really important points to make to begin with. And I reckon most people from the beginning, you'll sort of actually, you might be like, is this person an inconvenience to work for? Or like, it's a bit difficult. And I'm going to say you're probably going to get a little bit of a pushback from your staff members to be like, oh my God, I can't believe he made me move that PowerPoint 6 times. And it's like, he's paid you for every minute of the, I mean, I will move it 2,000 times. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a relevant conversation. To me, it's a mute point. And I think it's really important to communicate that with your team though too, to just be like, hey guys, this is the type of work that we're doing. This is how it works. It's going to change. And if the type of person who you've got as your leading hand or running them is not the type of personality who doesn't really deal with that very well, you may need to have a look at changing out in that, because it can do long-term damage to your
on that. I remember I had this tradie, awesome, unbelievable tradie, but he got a bit funny when things changed, and the client we had was like, oh, actually we're doing this now. A couple of clients, not everyone's personality can fit in with that, but I would encourage you to try your best, because it's like the scheduling for me with a couple of these clients used to be like, okay, that person will take care of roughly 2 to 3 people for a year. That person will take care of roughly 2 people for a year. So you sort of knew you had X amount of work before you even started. Might be more than that, might be a bit less than that, but that's the sort of loose schedule. And I used to assign staff members to that client. And that's a good way to get out of the neuro pathway. Like what you were talking about before was, you're the point of contact, which even with making them the point of contact, I was still receiving like text messages and emails, and I like to be included. I enjoy it. Like that is a part of it, but it's interesting when creating the new neuro pathway. It's like, hey, Matt's in charge here. Yeah. And here's his number. And then when they call me, even if I could answer the question, I'm like, sweet, let me just get Matt to touch back with you. Better still, Matt's at one of your jobs. So just talk to him. He's there every morning, so it's like, that's the interesting as well, because but when you assign staff members clients, if your business model allows it, they're billable project managers. They can take a whole lot of weight. Like think about a $500,000 a year client or $1 million a year client or $300,000. It doesn't matter. Like there's an element of administration associated with that. If you can get paid for that administration, your calculator changes dramatically. We're talking about this is a business model right here. So that's interesting. But also, like you said before, so important that they know the person they're working for. This is like emotional intelligence. Shout out to our live event coming up in next week. Yep. So come to that if you're around Gold Coast or Brisbane, or fly in. It's in the Gold Coast. Details on our Instagram. But like, there's my friend Jake's going to be talking on emotional intelligence, and it's like, you got to read people, you got to read the room, you got to look at the client, and be like, hey, this person's worth X amount of money. This person pays their bills on time. This person, yes, they're slightly erratic, but there's some incredible parts to that too. There's some, hey, we're knocking this down and building this. Oh my gosh, we just got 3 weeks worth of work more than we did yesterday. So there's like, erratic has its pros and cons. Quick decision makers, usually someone who's erratic makes good decisions quickly. Bad when they're just throwing a job at you. Great when you're having a walkthrough and they're like, do you want a wall light? Yeah, bang, this one. Yeah, do that. Yeah, pull that there. Yeah, spire out here. That's fantastic situation. So yeah, anyway.
Sorry. Probably want to clarify what I was saying in there is the point of contact point of view is generally for like the new stuff or what's upcoming and things like that. When the job's in progress, it's like, oh, hey, Maddie's on site, so anything you need done, just communicate with him because it'll happen quick. And so we've done that with these clients, but anything upcoming or anything that is happening or anything they're unsure of, I make sure that I'm the point of contact because I can make the decision based on it. If they rang Matt, Matt would be like, what are you talking about? I've got no idea. So like in that sense, I just want to clarify that. Okay, cool. So the last thing I want to just close out on here is your flat chat, you've got heaps going on. I think this is where diversification of your workload comes into it really, really importantly. So if you've got a bit of a project arm to do some project work and you've got a bit of like your maintenance arm to it all, generally speaking, you've probably got a few guys who do a bit of the maintenance, a few guys who are doing the project side of it all. Now, yeah, maintenance is going to be flat chat, right? But maintenance gives you the ability to pick and choose the type of work that you're doing. So it may give you the opportunity to be like, okay, cool, sorry, incoming new work for a mum and dad or a person that you're unaware of, it's like you're not obliged to do that. So it frees you up. This is just one scenario. It frees you up to then go service your eccentric billionaire client, so to speak. So that's where diversification comes into your business, and it plays really well. Obviously, I'm going to put it out there and put it to park to the side that I don't think that subcontractors are really capable of helping you at this time of year, because they're going to be busy in their own right. Like, unless you already use them regularly through the year, like, it's going to be unlikely that you can just like throw a fishing rod out and like pick up a few random subbies, because my opinion with that is that you're leaving yourself a little bit open because to the unknown, particularly if you have, I'm saying you have never worked with these guys before, you just know them through someone, and it might affect your product, which then in turn affects your relationship with the client and all that sort of stuff. So that can be a little bit of a situation that might not be desirable in your outcome in that sense. So my way of looking at how you make it work is understanding where your workload's at, the diversification with your team, so you know that you can pull a few levers on it all, but also with communicating with your team that, hey, like, guys, it's this time of year, there's going to be a bit of a push on. There's some more hours that are available. Who's interested as well? But it gives you the
I've got
agility.
a couple of final thoughts too. Have heaps of touch points. If you know someone's erratic, contact them weekly. Like, hey, I'm just on the schedule for the next 1 or 2 months. Just check what do you got coming up. Like, try and be front-footed, and then they might be like, oh, I'm looking at this. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm just quoting this actually. And that's super exciting. So try and be on the front foot. Touch points are awesome. Just checking in with people, staff members, and hey, just double checking. It's funny when you're quiet and you're like, I'm just on the schedule for next month. You sort of feeling out, hey, can we get somewhere? And when you're busy, it's like you're seeing what you can put back, and it's always this sort of balancing act. So have lots of touch points, and then it's interesting to know, and it's not until you get a bigger team where this is actually it's a lot easier, having an extra person available. Like if you're a team of 2 and you got an extra person there, that's going to be really difficult to please the calculator gods. If you've got a team of 10 and you've been operating for 5 to 8 to 10 years, you can probably have a tradie apprentice team on not scheduled, and they'll be booked out. I dare. So try and keep stock of how much work comes in every single week. I think you'll find there's a bit of stuff that just comes in. On average, it might be 10 hours when you're quiet. When you're smaller, it might be 100 hours when you're, and you might be able to ramp that up and down through Google Ads or Hustle or whatever. But if you might need to have an extra person or have subcontractors available. And it's mid-October, so you could call and be like, hey, can you give me 2 days for the rest of the year, 1 day for the rest of the year? But subcontracting, if you've used them before and you use them consistently, maybe they can run a job for you. And you're sort of using them as your staff members. So that's one way to use subcontractors, great way to use. Another way is they sort of come under that your person who's running the job for a week, a day, or 2, whatever. The other way to use them is you can leave them by themselves if it's like, hey, this is what you got to do. You got to drop this cable tray from here to here, mount this board, fit this off, and I'll see you Friday. So there's a few ways to use them that are really key. The way to not use them is send someone who you've never met to your good client when there's sign writing all over their van and they've got their shirt on and they're meeting the client. And if they're awesome, you got to watch out because you could lose that client. And if they suck, you got to watch out because you could lose that client. So, and if they're mid, you better watch out because you could lose that client. So it's like, or if they're aggressive in their communication. So sometimes you might be the coolest dude ever and you got really kind, clear, concise communication, and you throw someone who's a bit rude into the wrong client that rubs them up the wrong way. So you're always with staff management, you're always matching personality types or trying your best with personality types. How are you be a good fit for this person? Hey, you got mutual bonding with surfing or golf, or tie that in. And you don't need necessarily a hobby to tie in, but certain personalities get along better than others. And if you've got a personality that gets along with everyone, that's great for you But as you grow a business, you just got to sort of be a bit more aware. So my wrap up is just touch points, heaps of touch points. But yeah, 100%. If you're good client or excellent client calls, if you can make their problem your problem, that's why you're going to get paid the big bucks. And if you're not making the big bucks, you need to, because it's a lot of work out there. There's a lot of work out there, and it's a lot of work trying to business. So you should be earning some good money. Peace. Ciao. That's a wrap on another podcast. Whatever you're doing, don't be too busy to stop and check if you're making money. And above all else, you know the rules. Be kind. See you soon.